guys, it's MadameWario, and I'm making this video to reflect on my Paper Mario Play-A-Thon from this past weekend in honor of DonateGames.org. So there's just a lot I want to talk about. I want to kind of reflect on the highlights of the stream and say thank you again to everyone who helped me out, especially my co-commentators, who I'm going to name in just a second. But I'm so excited because we reached and surpassed our goal. Our financial goal for the stream was $1,064, so like 1064, since, you know, 64 is my favorite number and 6 plus 4 is 10, so I was like, that's a good number. So that's why that was the number I chose, but we actually ended up surpassing that, and I still need to add into the amount that was raised all the donations raised from the pom-pom critters on my Etsy shop, which sold out, by the way. All 28 sold out, so thank you so much to everyone who purchased one of those, and really, that's just a huge help in itself, and that's not even calculated into the cost yet, nor are the funds raised from YouTube video views over the weekend. So again, if you guys watched any of my videos over this past weekend, you pretty much donated without even knowing it. So yeah, without those funds, so far we've raised $1,084. So I'm thinking after those funds it'll probably be somewhere around $1,400. I don't know, somewhere around there is what I'm thinking. So I'm really excited, and just thank you so much to everyone who donated from the bottom of my heart. You guys are amazing, super pimp, fierce, epically awesome pimpity pimps. Like, I don't know, you're just amazing, and so thank you so much for your generosity. And like I said, a lot of you probably didn't even realize you were donating just by watching my videos. Even the little updates, it's like, oh, you know, 30-second update. Well, you just donated. So again, that just means the world to so many people, myself included, but especially others who we were, you know, putting on the stream in honor of, because DonateGames.org is an organization that works to support sick children and their families who do not have the means to, you know, have video games, to be able to have that distraction when they're fighting and sick. And it's just amazing, the healing powers of video games, and that's really what the stream was about this weekend. So to be able to provide that for people, and people we don't even know, through the donations that were received, that's just incredible. So thank you guys so much. Again, from the bottom of my heart. I don't even think people realize the healing power of a distraction like video games, where you're just kind of drawn into this whole other fantasy world. So to have that, and to have pulled off what we did together, honestly, is just amazing. It's really just, I'm so proud right now of everybody involved, so thank you so much. I also want to give personal thank yous to all of my co-commentators. There were 11 of you, so thank you guys so much. I would have gone insane or lost my voice. I mean, there were some points where I was like, I don't know if I can do this, especially near the end, so you guys being there was just like amazing. I can't thank you enough. So I had to make a list of all of you so I didn't forget anyone, and I'm going in alphabetical order, so here we go. I want to thank, or give a special huge thank you to the following. I want to thank Chugga Conroy, Yuffie Hime, who is also known as Madam Yoshi, she's my sister, Gaia Crusher 9, Little Foo 68, Madam Toadstool, who's also my sister, Mega Freak 400, Mr. Dower Power, PondTheGreat, Power to Mario, Shadow Mario 41, and Slim Kirby. I love every single one of you, and seriously have no idea how much you helped me out. There were some points where I was dying, and I was like, oh my god, I'm so thankful they're here right now, just talking, and just, I don't know, thank you guys so much. It really means a lot to me that you were there to help me out, so And for those of you who weren't able to make the stream, I also want to point out that you can still watch the stream, and you can do that on my Twitch TV account. It's, again, twitch.tv/MadameWario. I'll include a link in the video description, so you can go there and watch all the footage from the stream. It's all been recorded and it's on Twitch TV. I won't be uploading it to YouTube because it's there. So, yeah, I just want to let you guys know that that does exist. That is a thing. So, okay, now I want to go ahead and reflect on each of the chapters just because I'd like to talk about them briefly. The prologue, which was Goombario's house, that was kind of the beginning where I actually started the stream with, like, my stomach was hurting and I was just like, oh god, please don't affect anything. So, it's kind of funny just because talking about the healing powers of video games, my stomach was kind of out of whack all night the night before, and so when I started playing I was really nervous, like, oh god, what if I can't do this because my stomach is stupid. And just, again, having that distraction of getting so drawn into the game just, like, saved me in the end of the stream. So it was like, wow, thank you, seriously, game. So I was, you know, really thankful for that. So prologue was good. It was just kind of introducing everything. Chapter 1, which was Koopa Bros Fortress, again, near the beginning, it was pretty easy to get through. And that's when my first co-commentators came in, which I think there were just 4 of you at that time. It was Gaia Crusher 9, Little Foo 68, Chugga Conroy, and Shadow Mario 41. So you guys were all there for that. So we had co-commentators pretty early on, and then they just continued throughout. So, but that was a great chapter just because it's like the beginning, fresh, whatever. Dry Ruins, Chapter 2, was just a lot of fun. I remember having a lot of fun on that chapter just because it was like right in the middle of the day when it's like, yay, I have energy and I can play this and whatever. Boo's Mansion, Chapter 3, which is my favorite chapter, I actually had some complications on because I kept making doofy mistakes because I'm pretty sure at that point I was like, okay, you know, I love this chapter, but I was like starting to get hungry, so I was distracted and I was like, oh no, what am I doing? So, I actually ended up dying twice at the same part because I wasn't paying attention to my HP or any of that. Oops, my fault. So, yeah. Shy Guy's Toy Box, Chapter 4, which came next. That was a very sentimental chapter, actually, because one of my highlights that I want to talk about at the end of this video comes from that chapter, and you know, that was just me and Slim Kirby for a while talking about the reason for the stream most of the time. So that was a great chapter. Chapter 5, which was Lava Lava Island, I feel like that was the most upbeat chapter. I think that's when most people, that was like when the stream attendance was its highest, and we had like 9 people co-commentating, which was good because I always get frustrated at that part finding all the Yoshis, so I was just like, okay, I'm really glad these people are here. Chapter 6, Flower Fields, I lost it. I don't even remember some of it because I was so delirious and slap happy. That's when it really hit me, like I was getting exhausted and I was like, I have no idea what I'm saying right now. So that chapter was really funny and just really ridiculous because that's when it hit me hardest, like, oh my god, I don't know what I'm doing, I've been playing this game too long. I don't know what hour that was, but it was late at night. It was like, I think going on to midnight, like it was past midnight that we finished that chapter, so you know, that was like playing the game 13-14 hours straight. I think we finally finished that chapter, so I was like, whatever, you know, gone. Chapter 7, which was the Ice Palace, which is my second favorite chapter in the game. I think that was the hardest. Going into it, I was just like, oh my god, I love this chapter, but like my back and my stomach were like grinding, like, stop doing this. And I was like, I can't. And my sister, Madame Toadstool, who was over, actually had to massage my legs at one point. That's how bad it was. Because I was just like, I don't know if I can do this. This chapter is just starting. And like, I would look at the time and be like, oh my god, this is gonna take me so long. And then by the time I got to the end of the chapter, it was like, well, it really wasn't that bad, because again, the whole distraction of everything. But my god, there was a time when I was like, I don't know if I can do this. And my sister actually had to play for me for like 10 minutes while I just walked around my house, you know, pretending to be okay. And that was the hardest. I think I commentated the least during that point because I was just hurting at that point. It was like, I can't do this. One of the things that really helped me though, especially towards the end of that chapter, was just thinking, you know, okay, what am I doing this stream for? The cause is for kids who are fighting, who can't just say, I'm tired, forget it, I don't want to do it anymore, I give up. So, I mean, that really helped me, just thinking of that during that chapter especially. I was like, I can't give up, I can't do that, that's not what those kids can do, who we are raising this money for. I have to keep going. So, yeah, that was really tough. I took a long break before Chapter 8, and then during Chapter 8, which was Bowser's Castle, which is the longest chapter in the game, my god. My mom was up watching the stream too, and she was actually like rubbing my back the entire time for like 2 hours, like, because I was just like, oh my god, this is ridiculous. But I have to say that that chapter was a lot of fun, just because of all that was going on during that chapter. So, it was great. I want to go over the highlights now to kind of share what all was happening. So, my first highlight comes from Chapter 4, and that's, was when I was just with Slim Kirby for a while. I know that Power to Mario and Gaia Crusher 9 were both there too, but at one point it was just me and Slim Kirby, and he shared a story about how video games helped him when he had viral pneumonia and was sick in the hospital. And it was interesting because I actually had viral pneumonia at one point in time during my teenage years, and so did Mr. Dower Power, who was also there and shared a story. So we went over like these really just true stories about how video games can have a positive influence and really help someone who is in a, you know, not so great health situation as, you know, an illness. But and then Slim Kirby made a wonderful contribution as well, so to the fund. But it was just a very sentimental chapter for me for that reason, and time of the stream, one of my favorites. But the next highlight I want to point out is it happened right after Chapter 5. We went to Shooting Star Summit, that's where we went, and Power to Mario, I'd asked him to pray over the stream and share a prayer, which he did, and I can't say thank you enough to Power to Mario for doing that, because it was a very touching prayer, and it was so well said. Just the whole premise of the prayer was just perfect for what the stream was about. So you guys should definitely watch that portion of the stream too, and just listen to that right after Chapter 5, because that was very heartwarming and just touching, and I was really impressed by what Power to Mario had prepared for that. So thank you so much. That was one of my favorite moments because of that. Probably some other highlights on a totally different note were during Flower Fields, when it was me and two of my sisters, Yuffie and Madame Toadstool, and Little Foo68, and we were just pretty much losing it and just laughing throughout the entire thing, because I just could not speak like a normal person, and I was pretty much losing my mind at that point. So I was just like, what am I doing? Oh my god. I apologize to anyone who asked me questions during that time, because I know I gave you the most ridiculous, like, worst answer possible. There's no way I answered any of those questions well. One that I remember in particular, somebody asked me my impressions of the Wii U, and all I could say about it was, I want it. I don't even think I said anything else about it. It was just so dumb. So yeah, that was ridiculous, and that was a lot of fun because of that. Because that's probably one of my least favorite chapters because of the boss, so... Anyway, and then I think all the major highlights come at the very end of the stream. So the final chapter, chapter 8, and this is really thanks to Chugga Conroy because he had been egging several of us on about certain goals during chapter 8. So for donations, I had to battle and defeat the 3 anti-guys in Bowser's Castle, which I did not think I would be able to do, and then I was like, oh wow, that was easier than I thought. Oh, so thank God for that. Mega Freak 400 was there at that time. He appeared during Chapter 7 and Chapter 8, I think. He was lurking during Chapter 6, but anyway, in Chapter 8 was his big appearance because for donations, Mega Freak 400 had to sing Friday, Call Me Maybe, and he had to take his shirt off, so it was pretty intense with that happening. And then for donations, Slim Kirby had to sing the Anti-Peach song, which he wrote for my birthday, I believe 2 years ago? I can't believe it's 2 years ago already, but, or was it 3 years? I don't know, but regardless, he wrote it for my birthday, and there's a video out there. He sang that live at my stream, so that was great. And then, yes, Chugga Conroy met our goal if we did all of those things, which was, thank you so much again, if you're watching this, just because that, number one, that benefits so many people and it's just like an amazing thing to do. Number two, I had a lot of fun reaching, or, you know, listening to those wonderful songs, and just the whole chapter was hilarious because of that, so thank you for encouraging those goals. I think the weirdest highlight of the stream, and this is the last highlight I have documented, is Slim Kirby's leg. I don't know why that became a thing, but it did. There's a hashtag of it on Twitter. It's Slim Kirby's leg, literally, and that's something else he had to do in order for, well, for a certain amount of donations, is he had to take a picture and post it of his legs, which I have to show you now. So that is from the stream. It's beautiful, wonderful. I don't know why that became a thing. His legs became lesbians for each other at one point. I don't know how that happened. I was delirious. It was ridiculous. So again, a lot of fun and ridiculousness. So I encourage all of you who have not watched any of the stream to go back and watch it. It's just hilarious, and obviously you might not be able to watch it all at once because it is 20 hours long, but we ended up ending at 7 a.m. And I believe those who made it to the end were me, Slim Kirby, Mega Freak 400, Chugga Conroy, Power to Mario, who fell asleep and woke up like near the end, perfect timing. My sister, Yufihime, Madame Toadstool, passed out in a mummified position on my floor, so I don't know if she necessarily made it to the end. She did make it to the couch, though, so that was a good thing. My mom made it to the end. I think that's it. I think those are all the people who made it to the end. Unless I'm forgetting. Wait, was Gaia there at the end? Gaia, did you make it to the end? I think you did. You had to. Gaia, you had to make it to the end, didn't you? Or am I crazy? I'm probably crazy. I believe that Gaia was there too. So anyway, yeah. It was ridiculous, and I'm glad that we all made it to the end together. And let's see. I think that's all I have to talk about as far as highlights. I want to close off this video by saying what I believe the best payoff of the entire stream was. And I think what really got me most, I did end up crying twice during the stream, and I pretty much just sobbed when I went to bed because I was like, I can't believe it's over. And I was just like so overwhelmed and so tired, and it was so much fun, and I, you know, I cried during the credits. I cried when Twink leaves. You know, it was just like very touching to me, and I think what got to me most is just listening to the other LPers get inspired to host their own donation streams. My co-hosts, everybody who was there, just talking about that and wanting to do that was just so great to me. Like, I was so glad that that kind of message was spread through the stream too. Not just like, oh, I put on the stream and I did all this stuff and I raised money, like, but, you know, passing on the message to other people and to you in the audience, and not necessarily me, but all of us together. I'm not just saying me, because I couldn't have done this without so many people, but just hearing that inspiration out there to, you know, raise money for the same kind of cause is just amazing, and I'm so happy to hear so much inspiration from that, and it inspires me to just do this kind of thing more. So thank you guys so much for sharing your thoughts on that too. I really appreciate it. And afterwards, just thinking about how many game systems, how many games, and how many research materials we help supply together by you know, doing this whole event together and raising the money for donategames.org is amazing. So I feel so blessed to have such an amazing audience as you guys, so thank you so much, and such amazing friends as my co-commentators and co-hosts, and family too, because, you know, several of them were my family. So yes, and I have written, I'm so blessed to have such a super fantastic, mega pimp, epically fierce audience like you all, which is 100% true, not an exaggeration. If anything, that's an understatement. So thank you all so much for your generous hearts and your good spirits, and for just being absolutely amazing, and for helping me get through this event, because I couldn't have pulled it off without you. So I love each and every one of you in the audience. I love each and every one of my friends who was there co-commentating. I love you guys. So yeah, the Paper Mario Play-A-Thon 2012 was a huge success, and I'm overwhelmed still. So thank you again. I knew this would be a long reflection video. We've got about, you know, 22 minutes, so there we go, 24 minutes, a minute for every hour of the day. I guess we could look at it that way. I know this is long, but I didn't want to miss a beat, so I wanted to make sure I covered everything. So again, huge thank you to my audience, huge thank you to my co-commentators, my family, my mom for rubbing my back, to Gooba for, you know, stealing my lantern guy in the middle of it. It was just a great event, and I look forward to hosting another event like it, hopefully next summer or in the future. And I know that others of you have talked about doing the same thing. So yeah, I love you guys. Thank you so much for making this event possible, for making it successful, and, you know, God bless you all. I love you. Thank you. Peace out, pimps.